long as I can remember, my parents have been divorced. I don't remember any of that sort of stuff going down. I just know that my dad lived in Scobie and I lived in Billings most of my childhood. I'd go to Scobie in the summers. And that was just all I knew. I know that my story with God probably began around that time. My mom was a pretty dedicated Christian. We'd go to church every Sunday that I can remember growing up with her. And when I was in Scobie during the summers, there was no church involved. Around the age of 7, custody switched, and I started living in Scobie full-time and would stay with my mother during the summers. And so my life with God pretty much stopped. I only went to church with my grandma maybe once a month to just make her happy. She enjoyed going, and I enjoyed spending time with her. And that's where I got to do it. And then at the age of 11, my mother committed suicide. And it was hard. It's still hard. I was mad at God. I didn't understand why he would do something like that. I pretty much left it at that. By the time I was 13, I was drinking every weekend. And probably by the time I was 15, it even trickled into the week. I would drink on school nights and come to school hungover, and I don't know, growing up in Scobie, it just seemed like the normal thing to do. And by 16, I started getting into some drugs and just anything that it would take to try to fill that hole. I think when I was 17, I met my now wife, Jory Marlenee, and she started dragging me to church again, and I once again was just going to make her happy. I just kind of zoned out while I was here. It wasn't really my thing. She went to college and I stayed home and was unfaithful and continued with the drugs and alcohol and whatever got me by. Was able to keep that a secret for a number of years, and until God finally was pushing on me enough, I finally was able to come forward. And she was obviously a little upset, but immediately forgiving. And that was the first time that I felt the undeserved forgiveness that God offers us. It was hard to come forward, but it was, they always say it's like a backpack full of bricks and you just take it off. And that is pretty much what happened. I know that that's not human nature. I knew that God had to be involved in that forgiveness. I've had multiple people tell me that they can visually see a change in me. Something happened. I feel it inside of me.